Yes, hello. So this is a project on the Twitter Simulator Part 1. So we have performed remoting, we have implemented remoting parts. So now I'll just run the project first and then explain the details around it. So first we load up the server side. And then here we load up the client side with 10,000 as the number of clients, and 2000 would be the starting point of the zip distribution. So the first client will get 2000 followers, the second will get 1000, the third will get 2000 upon 3, 666, and so on. So this is starting, it's flashing red is registering clients waiting for finished registration. So it'll just keep on printing the clients that are connected, and it will start creating a followers list for that. So till this everything gets set up, I'll explain some important parts of code to you. So the utils file here, it just contains all the user defined data type, that is the user data. So okay, we are using a Redis, what do you say, a Redis database system. So the Redis database system contains all its entries in a key value pair. So if we have any information about the user ID would be the key, and the user tweets, that is the tweets that the user has done, the following, the set that the user follows, and the set of the users following the current user will be stored as the value pair, as a set of values. Same for the tweets. So every tweet ID would be the tweet ID would be the key, and the user ID who tweeted, the actual text of the tweet, the time of the tweet, and whether it is a retweet, yes or no, would all be the value. The same for mentions. So in mentions, the actual user ID would be the key, and the value are the tweet IDs, are all the set of tweet IDs that the user is mentioned in. Same for hashtags, and these are all the user defined data types. So if we have a tweet array for simulator, so every time a user wants to tweet, it randomly picks an array element from the tweet array to tweet, and the hashtags arrays. And while parsing the search query for hashtag, the user randomly picks a hashtag from this and sends it to the engine for querying. This is the mention parser, so it parses all the mentions from the tweet and all the hashtags from the tweet. And we can see here that all the users have connected and it has started tweeting. So you can say get u1. So these are all the followers list. So we can get u2. Okay, the followers list here is empty. So it is still creating the u1's follower list. It takes a little bit time to create all the follower list because the number is huge. So till then I can show you the simulator code and the engine code. So this is just the connection. I showed you the utils file. This is the actor system. The client doesn't do much. It just creates a user ID for itself, and all the messages it receives from the simulator, that is the register message, the connect, whether to disconnect while simulating, or whether to tweet, follow, retweet, and search, everything it passes on to the engine ref. And whatever responses gets from the engine, it prints it accordingly. So for the simulator, okay, I'll show you the engine first. An engine, okay, the connection, the system actor, the database. Connect to the database. Okay, so Redis send is just sending a key value pair to the database to store. So this is the key, and value is an object. Whatever the user defined data type that we create over here, user data, tweets, mentions, or hashtags. And then it serializes on JSON using the same object, and then sends it to the database, sending a key and a value pair. And it returns a value. The value is true if it succeeds and false if it fails. And same for receive. It just uses a key to get the value and then passes the string version of the value, which is still in the JSON format, and we need to deserialize it on the engine side. So in engine, when it receives the registration, it creates a user ID, creates an empty set for the user, and sends it using the user ID being the key and the user, this whole being the value. And if we get a true here, then it sends a success to the client and adds this client to the connected list. Otherwise, it just prints failure. When it receives a connect from the client, it adds it to the connected clients list. So this list is important because when a user tweets, it needs to send the tweet to all of its followers, all of the connected followers at that time. So we check from this connected clients list whether the client is connected and then send it to the client. And same for disconnected, we just remove it from the connected clients list. When we receive a tweet, we use a tweet ID. Tweet ID is defined as 1 here, and it keeps on incrementing for every tweet or retweet. So we get a tweet. This is the key, the tweet ID, and the tweet as a whole is the value. So we send the tweet first. Now we know a user has tweeted a tweet, so we need to add the tweet ID to the list of tweets that the user has made. So we retrieve the user data, we add the tweet ID to the user's tweets, and then okay, now I'll pause this for a second. So now it created all the users list, and here it has started sending queries. I'll come back to the queries. I'll just explain the code a bit. So yeah, it passes the hashtags, it passes the mention, and it pushes tweets to all the connected clients. Same for follow. It adds user X to the following of user Y and user Y to the followers of user X. Retweet is basically the same code as tweet. Search is the searching query, like you get a user ID, you search by the user, you receive by the key user ID. Same for the hashtag, you have the tag, you just receive by the tag. Mentions, you see by the mentions. And in the simulator, you connect, you just flush the database, like clear it out. You get the number of clients, the zip distribution, register the clients by sending message to the client, which then forwards to the engine. Wait for the actual keys to get created. Create a followers list during the zip distribution, and then disconnect some initial number of clients, and then you run the two async processes, that is the tweet machine and the connection machine. So what tweet machine does is it gets a random client, on the connected list, creates a reference, determines the number of actions, which is a minimum 5, and depending on the UID, it selects the number of user actions. So lesser the UID, the more the user actions. And since our zip distribution contains more followers for less UIDs, the less UIDs will do more user actions, which is in par with what the project specifications ask for. So for one in user actions, select a random number. If it selects 1, then it will make a tweet. If it selects 2, it will query for some tweet. And then get another random number which selects whether it should be a retweet or no. And then just then get a random tweet. And then with a probability of half, let us decide, do we want to add a mention to it, a random user client, or no, and then tweet it. And if we select a 0 here, it goes in the else column, and then we select another random number, 0, 1 or 2. If it selects 0, we're going to query a following type, that is get all the tweets that my following that the users that I follow have made. Hashtag lookup just selects a random hashtag and then queries all the tweets by hashtag. A mention lookup does the same thing with mentions. And this is asynchronous, so after it makes a query, it sleeps for 50 milliseconds, and after all the user actions have been done by a user, it sleeps 50 milliseconds as well. And concurrently to this, since we are using async and using async.start, these two blocks of code run side by side. So while the tweets are going on, we can see that uh, that the connection and disconnection of the clients are also being done. So we see connected clients, we get a random number from the set to disconnect. So from one to connected clients, we send a disconnect message to those clients. So those get disconnected, and same we get a random number from the disconnected clients and then send them a connection message. Keep this state for 10 seconds, and we then it runs again while true. So yeah, and now we can move on to the actual running of the code. So here on the client side, we get all the query received from the simulator, that is a mention query, and then after the response has been received, it just says finished query. So now we can see one of the queries here. This was on the server side, it receives a query and it finishes the query, and on the client side you get all the printing done. You get all the printing done. So we can get that if somebody tweets something, so it's gonna say, okay, client receive response. So since 1155 tweeted something, all the followers of 1155 who are active will get this message. 1155 tweeted, my super identity is funky, blah 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 blah, at time this. Since multiple clients are printing stuff, this print gets overlapped and we don't see the output properly, but this is what it is. Okay, so actually last time I was showing the entries made in the database so as to, cover it all out, that the simulator, the data going from the simulator to the client to the engine to the database is all in line. But then I was showing a different screen, so it didn't come up in the screen share. So I'll be showing it here. So let's just check for random U400. Yeah. So since our zip distribution starts from 2000 and this is user 400, we can see that it has 5 followers, which is exactly in line with the zip distribution. And now let's just get the first tweet. Okay, so first tweet has been made by user 1139. So if we go into user 1139, we should be able to see that tweet number 1 has been made by that user. Okay, so first 2 tweets have been made by that user. So if we get tweet 2, we can say user 1139. And now let us see. So now we can see this tweet, and here's a hashtag short pile. So if we search by hashtag, we should be able to see the first tweet in its list. So short pile, hashtag tweets 1. So this is the, okay, so we can see the database perfectly stores the tweets, the user that made the tweet, and the hashtag, and it also does the same for mentions. So yeah, this is all it. So we tied up the engine simulator and the database together. So yeah, so at the end, I just wanted to say that we tried this for 1 million users, but it failed because the database wasn't sturdy enough to handle requests that frequently. So we settled on for 500k users, which works perfectly. So yeah, that's it from our side.